So my name is Jacqueline Russell. I am the Director of Education here at the Heard Museum, and I am Navajo. I grew up in between Wicochigai and Round Rock, Arizona. Then I went to school in Kayenta. And so we today just opened a new exhibit that's called Native Words, Native Warriors. It's about the Code Talker history, and what a lot of people don't know is that there were Code Talkers from more than just the Navajo community. We had, in the exhibit, kind of details history from World War I, and in that war there were numerous members from the Choctaw community in particular that were Code Talkers, and they, the military distinguishes codes between a level 1, which is an actual coded encrypted language, and a level 2 code, which is actually just using native language in a everyday vernacular, versus the level 1 where there were actual words that had to be made for certain things like helicopters, things that we didn't really have as Native people in the community. So the story of the exhibit starts from the World War I experience, and what's interesting, I think, what some people don't realize is that the boarding school experience actually kind of continues with the Code Talker story, because the boarding school experience is a Department of War program and policy that was created to assimilate American Indians into society. So it was this period where the government was saying, do not speak your language, and then you fast forward, several years, and you have the Department of War carrying out the defense of the country and encouraging Native people to speak their language to protect the country. And so I think that that's something that carries from World War I to World War II. And in World War II, the large core of Code Talkers were from the Navajo community. There was the pilot program, which people are most familiar with when they talk about the original 29 soldiers that created and worked through the piloted program. And then the expanse of that program resulted in over 420 Navajo Code Talkers. There were also Hopi Code Talkers, as well as Oneida and Muskogee. Not Muskogee, that's the wrong tribe. And another community, but they all had level 1 codes. And so the Hopi and the Navajo were in the Pacific Theater. There were other communities that were in Northern Africa, and then also other American Indian groups that were in Europe. So they were spread out throughout the war in terms of where they were stationed, and were really part of facilitating using language to protect the United States during the course of World War II. And what's interesting is that they had during that time traditional Navajo speakers who came in and actually, as a way to test the code, go through and test the code, and it was something that was never, even as a traditional speaker, because of the code's complexity, they were never able to break it. And then as a result, that the Japanese were never able to as well. So in conjunction with Native Words, Native Warriors, there is a Navajo Code Talker photo exhibit which displays photos from a photographer, Kenji Kawano. He's actually the official the official photographer for the Navajo Code Talker Association, and is actually an honorary member because of the project. And so we have a selection of his photos that were displayed in conjunction with the Native Words, Native Warriors show. And so that's really exciting as part of the story as well. We talk a little bit about the transition from Code Talkers who were discharged from the Army after the war was over, and their ability to study different trades, including art. So there, after World War II, there was actually an expanse of Native American artists who were trained in the in the arts in different ways, and that continues today. So there are a lot of people who were trained to be painters or sculptors or things like that, that were veterans, that are veterans. So,
Thank you.